Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com, and I want to share with you a very important principle that all of us need to be aware of or just reminded of as traders, and that is the hidden cost of breaking trading rules. And instead of talking in theory, I want to just show you an actual example from my personal results that illustrate exactly what I'm talking about. So let's just hop right in so I can respect your time as much as possible. So, to set up a little bit of context here, I'm trading futures and I'm going short. Now, just because I'm doing futures, this does not apply to only futures. This principle applies to stocks, options, Forex, crypto, or anything else you may be trading. Now, I do bring up short because depending on how new you are, maybe that doesn't mean anything to you, but I want to see prices go down. So, believe it or not, in the world of trading, you can make money when prices go down. That is known as going short or shorting. So, I am about to get short. Therefore, I want to see the price go down. In other words, if the price goes up, that is not a good situation. That means I would be losing money. I am now short, and you can watch the fluctuations down here of the prices. And again, I want to see the price go down. I now have a stop loss up at that green line. So this thing's either going to come down or it's going to come up to that green line and stop me out. And I'll just have to say, you know what? I was wrong. And it is what it is. So you can see it's bouncing around that area, has not stopped me out quite yet. It's getting close, but right there, I am officially out. Right there around, for example's sake, 21,480. And that ultimately cost me $78. So $78 in the red on that trade. Now this brings up the point we'll all face as traders when you have that stop loss, or if you don't have a stop loss, well then that's a whole nother conversation. But you have the stop loss, and then should I cancel it? Do I want to honor it? Should I move it up? But that's a choice we have to make, and you're going to have to make. Do you want to honor the stop loss? Because if you honor it, yes, you are going to take a loss. And that is always something that's going to come with being a trader, right? That's just not going to be avoidable. But what happens is this, and I'm not going to make any sort like when you hear like, oh, well, no kidding, Clay. But what happens is this: a lot of times that stop loss gets canceled or it's not quite there. And even if you're doing a mental stop and you're saying, okay, I should be cutting this loss, no, let's just see what happens. And you either break the rule of just honoring that stop loss, or you break a rule of not being mentally strong enough to cut the loss when it should be a loss. So at this point, you're saying, okay, I get it. The cost right now is a loss gets even bigger. And that is true, but I would argue that's more so the obvious cost. The hidden cost is what is known as an opportunity cost. An opportunity cost is exactly what it sounds. When you make certain decisions, so in this situation, the decision is to break the rule, you are now actually costing yourself an opportunity. What opportunity? Well, the opportunity to make another trade and get that loss back. But obviously, you can't get that loss back if you don't take the loss in the first place. But when you do take the loss and you keep it minimal, you keep it within your parameters, well, by taking it, yes, you do have the cost of you were wrong, but you open up the opportunity to, well, get that loss back. So now I fast forward a little bit, and hopefully you notice something down here. Right here, I have a $190 gain. Meaning, well, hey, that loss right there has been wiped away, plus I have green in my pocket. How is that possible? Well, I made another trade. And right there, that loss is wiped away. Now, I don't say that to brag. In fact, it kind of proves my point. If you're saying, oh, good job, Clay, you wiped away $78. Well, that's the point in the first place, is that's why you want to keep losses small, because you know you're keeping, let me put it this way. If you can sit there and look at an anticlimactic win, and yet that anticlimactic win still wipes away your losses, I would argue you're doing a very good job in the risk management department. But let's look at this hidden cost here. Yes, the hidden cost is you miss the opportunity to get the gain back, but think about the double whammy. So in this situation, remember, I told you to think about that 480 mark, which was about right here. So on that, what has occurred? The price kept on going higher and higher. And in the world of futures, there's a great opportunity to make good, solid money. But that, of course, cuts both ways. So that movement right there, that loss is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as and then right now, right before I paused it, I don't have what's rest, but this thing's getting ready to break out through that bull pennant. So that loss would have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the obvious cost, though, is well, yeah, if you don't honor your stop, those losses will continue to potentially grow larger. But that's the sting of the opportunity cost is you'd be sitting there saying, wow, I could have had a $78 loss, but now my loss is 178, 278, maybe even bigger. But on top of that, that salt is, and I could have actually had that wiped away because I could have taken another trade, been okay, yet because I got stubborn and I'm sitting here, I cost myself the opportunity to get the money back by making a higher quality trade. So I'm losing more, and not only could I not be losing more, I could have actually been in the green. But it's that opportunity cost that I created for myself that all of a sudden has this trade really spinning totally out of control. So please just remember that when you decide to break those rules, especially in terms of cutting the loss, you have immediately created another cost for yourself of opportunity. And again, what opportunity? Well, the opportunity to make another higher quality trade, a better trade to get the loss back that you just cut, but cut, assuming it's done in a reasonable way, then yeah, you're not going to need to trade like a superhero to get it back. It could be a very anticlimactic trade, which is what happened here. And all of a sudden, you're back in the green. So please be aware of the opportunity cost. It immediately shows up as soon as you start breaking rules, and ultimately it's not going to be worth it. There's no rule that says you can't get back in. Now, I know if you're a stock trader or options trader, you might be like, well, not for me, Clay, because I got to worry about that pattern day trading rule. And that's fair enough. But that's also one reason to maybe consider futures because there's no pattern day trading rule within the world of futures. But even if that's the case and you have the pattern day trading rule, okay, sure, maybe you can't get back in today, but at least it's cut and at least you're giving yourself an opportunity another day to get that back as opposed to having things just spin out of control on you. And then you play the game of, oh, not only is my loss bigger, but I also cost myself the opportunity to just take a very mild trade to get those losses back. Now, if you've ever been there before, that's okay. I've been there myself many times. But like I said, I just want you to be aware of it and see in this example here how by cutting that loss, I was able to then get it back relatively quickly and then just move on and, keep the account healthy, which is ultimately the goal. We want to keep our accounts healthy. We want to keep them growing. So I hope this helps. If there's any questions or anything like that, make sure you leave that down below. And also, I want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. When is the next live one? Well, just make sure you check out that link and it will show you when the next live class is. But this will show you the tools I'm using to build consistency, manage risk, and most importantly, this class will make sure you're operating within the right framework. You have the right structure in place. A lot of people show up and they have a partial understanding of things. Unfortunately, a partial understanding is just not good enough. You need to have a full understanding, especially when it comes to trading. And a lot of people show up and they think certain things are the way that they are. And I can understand why they would think that. But unfortunately, a lot of times what you think things should be, it's actually not. So there's a lot of areas of the market where, oh yeah, let me do that because that makes sense. And it makes sense, but it doesn't actually make sense. And that may all sound confusing. But again, that's the whole point of the class. So I can clear up some of these areas that I've seen over the years where people show up thinking they're doing smart things, thinking they're doing things that make sense, but they actually do not. So again, check out the link and get signed up for whenever that next live class is. So thank you for watching. If you appreciate these videos, hit that like button. And if you're looking for a super easy and free way to support the channel, please consider subscribing as that really does help out. So thanks for watching. And yeah, be very aware of that opportunity cost.